Hello, my name is Erin Ling. I coordinate the Virginia Household Water Quality Program. I'm housed in the Biological Systems Engineering Department and work with Cooperative Extension. And I'm just going to give you an overview of our program and some of the connections that it has to the topic that you're learning about today. So the program deals with private water supplies in Virginia, which are wells, springs, and cisterns, mostly wells. About 1.7 million Virginians, or about 1 in 5 people, rely on these systems in the state. And in the U.S., municipal water supplies are regulated by the EPA, but this is not true for people on private water supplies. So the primary function of our program is to help people become better informed about understanding their water quality and managing their systems to protect their health and property values. We also do education on the basic principles of groundwater connection and protection, understanding this resource so that we can take care of it. The Virginia Household Water Quality Program has been around since 1989 in some shape or form. It functions primarily through county-based drinking water clinics, which are held in about 60 counties a year now. We coordinate from campus with local trained extension agents who provide the programming. It starts with a kickoff meeting where participants receive sample kits. They collect their own samples on a designated day and then drop them off in the county, and we coordinate transporting them back to campus for analysis. The value-added part of this program is an interpretation meeting. We return the confidential test results to participants and then explain basic concepts about groundwater protection, interpreting the water quality results, dealing with problems, and understanding basic maintenance of these private water supply systems. This program over the years has generated analysis for about 18,000 samples in 92 Virginia counties. This is the list of contaminants that we test for, so 2 bacteriological tests and 12 chemicals. A lot of these are derived from geology. Some of them can come from household treatment devices or components for plumbing, such as copper and lead. This is the cost for one sample kit, $49 this year. A lot of what we do when we talk about private water supplies is just describe how wells in particular function. So we talk about how wells should be located, where they should be located, and how far from contamination sources. And basically we introduce these ideas of casing, the fact that you have the proper kind of well cap on the well, that the ground slopes away from the casing, that you're, a far enough distance away from potential sources of contamination for the well, and that a grout seal needs to be in place. So we educate people about these basic concepts, hoping that they'll go home and check out their own systems, possibly have a professional check out their systems and make sure that they're up to code. And these are just the same basic concepts illustrated for a bored well. We tend to see drilled wells in most of the state, but bored wells still are around in the coastal plain. And really, this is the gist of our program. So educating people to the point where they can understand what's in their water and then where it came from in order to get them to understand how to deal with potential problems if they need to be dealt with. Some of the contaminants that we're talking about are just aesthetic problems, things like hardness. You don't have to treat to remove those, but we do provide options for people if that's something they want to pursue. You can see that we educate about surface water contamination and proper well construction to protect groundwater quality, while also talking about the fact that a lot of contaminants are coming from the groundwater itself, from the geology or from past contamination. So kind of trying to paint this whole picture for people of how it's all connected. The water that we're analyzing for the most part is collected from people's taps, which means that it's also affected. The water quality is changed as that water moves through plumbing and fittings and fixtures and water treatment devices that are present. So we kind of put this whole puzzle together for people so they can understand what's going on with their water. Just a quick snapshot of the data that we're collecting. This is interesting. So when we ask people what type of water system they have, about 66% say well, and about almost a third say that they don't know. So that's just points to the opportunity to educate people more about their systems so they can learn about management. The average well that we see coming through the program is about 25 years old, which is a little bit older than the Virginia Department of Health regulations that are in place now. So we are seeing wells that are not up to code, most likely because they were constructed prior to these regulations being in place. 80% of the participants that come through the program have never tested their water or tested only once before. Treatment devices, when we ask people what they have installed, you can see almost 50% have no treatment, which in many cases is fine, but that combined with also not testing the water, is a bit of a concern. And again, almost 30% don't know if they have treatment devices, which probably points to them not maintaining them the way that they're supposed to be maintained if they do exist. A very brief summary of what we're seeing. 73% of the samples we see exceed at least one health or nuisance standard. Those standards are pulled from the EPA standards for public drinking water supplies. 44% are positive for total coliform bacteria and 10% for E. coli. And about 18% exceed the lead action level in the first draw. So what that means is water that's been sitting in the pipes overnight and then collected, we are seeing elevated lead levels, and that's most likely due to the natural corrosivity or pH of water in parts of the state, affecting the metals that are present in the plumbing. There are a ton of resources on our website if you'd like to find out more, including upcoming events, information about water testing and treatment. We have lots of publications specific to water quality problems that are common. And we have a new program called WellCheck. It's an inspection network. That's also on our website, so feel free to visit that. There's the address there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this program, WellCheck. What we found is that people were coming to the drinking water clinics and getting information about their water quality and their system, and then they needed help from there forward. So they needed help maybe with water treatment options, shock chlorination to deal with bacteria in their system, possibly needing new equipment on the well, such as a well cap or just general well repairs. So they become aware of these problems with their system and need to know where to turn. So we started a partnership with the Water Well Association, which is a membership organization of well drillers in the state. We call this program WellCheck. With our partnership with these well drillers, we develop checklists, which are basically for a well inspection. It kind of walks a driller through all the pieces of inspecting the well and making sure that it's up to code, and it's consistent and it's easy to communicate with the homeowner. And we also developed brochures for this program. So if you visit our website and click on the WellCheck button on the left side, you can see the resources that are there and a list of licensed well drillers who've signed up to provide this service. Right now we don't have the whole state covered. We're still growing the program, but please feel free to check that out and see if that's something that you're interested in. Our long-term vision for this program is that eventually the service will be available in every county across the state. And that homeowners will see wells as an important system in their home that needs care and maintenance. And routine well inspections can become a common and routine aspect of owning a home with a well. And eventually what we're hoping is that these well inspections will be picked up as a required part of home and property inspections during sale or transfer. Right now it's not common that wells are checked out carefully during home sales, so that's something that we're hoping will get picked up because it's a good opportunity. So I mentioned the drinking water clinics at the beginning. These are the counties that we're hosting drinking water clinics in 2015. At least 44 counties will be there, and then we usually have people come from adjacent counties to participate, which is fine. So you can look at our website on the events page to find out more details on how to register for these if you're interested. And I thank you for your time today. I hope you have a great workshop, and feel free to contact me or visit our website if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.